Today's Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. Tonight's a full moon. This is part 2, second video for today, and have kind of a second subject or direction I wanted to take this video in. And seem to dignify it with its own space and shorter videos. On the job today, I was getting the awareness or clarity to speak to sovereignty, oneness, excuse me, the holographic nature of spirit. And I want to define these things because they are kind of core to my beliefs, and I want to speak to them a little bit. And how they all three go together: sovereignty, oneness, the holographic nature of spirit. The hologram, or the holographic nature, being that we as an individual are part of the whole, and not only we are part of the whole, but within us we contain the whole. The whole is represented within us. What does that mean in practical terms or in spiritual lessons? It means that we can find our grounding or our guidance in that one teaching right there. That we cannot impose on another anything that we do not wish for ourselves. We cannot impose limits or interference on another without imposing those same limits or interference upon ourselves. I grew up hearing the biblical teachings of Jesus, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And it's a beautiful teaching, and it's whole and complete and perfect in itself, but I would say that there's an underlying teaching that comes even before that. It's not just that we are doing something kind or good by treating others as we would like to be treated, but that is a universal or holographic law or teaching. It's not a teaching, it's a principle, it's a law of reality, in that we cannot impose anything on another because they are us. And to impose that on them is to impose it on ourselves, and is to infringe it upon ourselves. So anytime we elevate ourselves or seek to dominate another, that we are only doing that to ourselves in the hologram of this reality. And when I say hologram or holographic nature, it's not that our physical world reality is fake in any way, but that all reality, all manifested reality, is still made up of the one, is all hologram of the one. And this teaching alone can guide us in our actions with each other. From the very evidence of all reality around us, we can see that it is the desire of the one to be manifested in many different forms, to experience itself from many different perspectives and angles, to create and to dream and grow in endless ways, infinite ways. And in that infinite dreaming and interacting with self and getting to know itself and explore itself and create in new directions, we do well to pay attention to the nature of ourselves and that we are all a part of that one. And where it can be beautiful for us to take pride in our uniqueness, pride in our diversity, pride in our heritage, our families, our languages, our culture, our place, our lineage. Beautiful to take pride in these things. Inherent in that would be that we can only take pride in this if we also can honor the uniqueness of others, the diversity of others, the perspective of others. If we can honor the pride that others have in their families, in their heritages, in their unique languages and customs, the ways they dress, the lineages they hold, the way they honor what is sacred in their lives. To me, this is the baseline understanding of a diverse world. The differences, the diversity is by design. And from source self, we would have it no other way. In fact, we are continuing to spread out in our uniqueness and in our diversity. We are continuing to create the new over and over and over again. And we are not here to homogenize ourselves. We are not here to control and dominate each other. We are not here to infringe upon each other's perspectives. And in so saying, when others do that to us, we have the right of sovereignty to say, to claim that and say, hey, no, I hear your perspective and it's infringing on mine and I do not agree with that. And I would not infringe my perspective on you. And I honor you as a divine manifestation with your unique perspective and goals. But I would remind you of your connection back to Source. And this is why I would encourage everyone to be mindful of be mindful of your spiritual lineage, your spiritual rootedness in Source. Whereas our diversity is beautiful, our nationalism, patriotism, and division is not. And we have to be careful about setting ourselves up as a better than, as the best country on the planet. But find our pride in both our uniqueness and in our human beingness and our connectedness with all other human beingness, all other human beings, and honor their connection back into the earth and to the place on the earth that they are showing up to steward and take care of, and their place within the human family and the gifts they're bringing into that human family. And this is the reason I do not get involved in politics or nationalistic pride. Be careful for that which divides or sets itself up over than, better than. That which wishes to enforce rules upon everyone. It comes down to this, that to recognize our own sovereignty, our own divine connection back to Source, we have to acknowledge and recognize the sovereignty and divinity within everyone around us. This is the holographic nature. Until we recognize everyone else's, we will not become aware of our own. To become aware of our own, to become aware of everyone else, there would be no greater self-destruction we could do than try to interrupt their connection back to Source than to disrupt their sovereignty, which would be go against our own sovereignty. And this law of sovereignty, this law of holographic nature, this law of oneness that we are all expressions of, teaches us where our limits are. By honoring others' sovereignty, we honor our own. By asking others to honor our sovereignty, helps them to honor and respect their own sovereignty. By being careful not to come in between anyone's direct connection back to Source, by trying to regulate it, by trying to control it, by trying to dominate it, is perhaps the most damaging thing we could do to ourselves. This is not a law or a rule or a teaching that is thought up. It is something that is just encountered in an awakening consciousness. As you come to know the reality of who and what you are, this becomes evident. And then the way to take responsibility for this manifestation of creation that you are is to not give your sovereignty away to anyone, but to always have to take responsibility for how you are showing up in this life, in this world. That you cannot do something because someone else asked you to that infringes upon your sovereignty and other sovereignty. That you take responsibility for yourself by not giving away your sovereignty or your power to anyone else, or ever asking anyone else to do that, or ever interfering with someone else's sovereignty or divinity. Divinity being their connection back to Source, the divine manifestation that they are. All we can do is honor them, encourage them to remember their responsibility as such, and let them know when they're infringing upon ours. And trust in the divine cosmic order of life, that all things are awakening to this realization. That we are all growing and coming into this understanding, so that we can be many manifestations of Source, creating beautifully side by side, in harmony with the planet, in harmony with the cosmos, in harmony with consciousness. And as we attune our own vessels in harmony with the earth, in harmony with the universal consciousness, we will not be out of harmony with each other. We will not need to police each other, govern each other, restrict, dominate, or control each other. We would only have to recognize each other. And that if we want others to wake up, we can continue to look inside to places where we are still needing to awaken to our own truth. And the more I believe we each awaken to our own truth, the more our light shines bright. It starts to shine so bright, others remember where their light is. That's my sharing for today. Bless you all for the divine light beings that you are. May we all awaken to our own sovereignty and speak it and live it. I hope.